Hey, it's another day and welcome back to my channel. I'm Megan Fox and today I have a bunch of meal prepping that I'd like to do with y'all. And since it is the season for back to school, I thought I would show you some meal prep ideas with that in mind. Now, I don't have any kids that are going to school yet. I have a 2 and a 3-year-old and one on the way. But I did teach school for over 6 years, and so this time of year always has a special place in my heart. And I know it's all about the quick and easy meal solutions and making things ahead of time so that those busy mornings can be so much less stressful. And so today I'm gonna be making some homemade snacks. I'm gonna be baking, doing some portioning out and organizing a little bit. And hopefully by the end of this video, you will have lots of motivation, inspiration to just be intentional about your meal plans in the coming crazy busy season. Also, I made myself a glass of iced tea, I guess we can call it. I just put a Peach Tranquility Evonnie tea bag in some water here, and I dropped in a mint sprig or 2 and some nectarine slices. And this is just gonna sit here and oh wow, it tastes so fresh already. This is gonna sit and diffuse as I'm cooking. And yeah, I'm all about getting more water in our systems. Back when I taught school, I would lose my voice all the time, and drinking water was one way that really helped. So anyway, if you missed me making this adorable cup, definitely watch my last beautiful homemaking video and you guys can see how I made that. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. This snack mix is so good and probably not anything you've ever tasted before, and that is because of the special sauce that you toss everything in. But for the dry ingredients, I just use a couple different kinds of cereal, and feel free to, you know, be as creative as you want with that. My mom likes to use rice Chex. I like the corn Chex. And Evonnie loves these garlic rye chips, so I can't skip those. And I use dry roasted peanuts, but honey roasted peanuts are delicious as well. And then for the pretzels, my favorite for snack mixes is always the ultra thin pretzels from Walmart. I haven't found anything equivalent anywhere else, but you can let us know down in the comments if there's another place that has such tiny little ones. And so basically you're just gonna dump everything in. There's a little bit of measuring required because you won't need your whole box of cereal or your whole bag of pretzels unless you're making a really, really big batch. And yes, my mom does that sometimes because this stuff freezes really well. You will see here in a second. And then you can mix it up with a spoon, with your hands, or my favorite method is just to pop the lid on the container, make sure there's plenty of empty space in the container, and then just like toss it around. This is a great thing to do. I remember doing this as a kid. Just shake it a little bit, and you don't have to make a big mess of trying to stir. And it usually mixes everything up really well. And then you want to make your sauce, which is mainly butter. And then it just takes some garlic salt and celery salt and Worcestershire sauce. I know I butchered that. I'm sorry, Brits. But yes, that sauce goes in there and makes it really delicious. And you just whisk everything together and you pour it over your dry mix. And then I like to give everything a good coating by using a spatula just to get the wetness up from the bottom and distributed over the cereal. And then I often will toss it again with the lid on top. And then you just want to put this onto a baking sheet. Make sure it has sides. That is very crucial. And I don't really spray the pan or anything like that. It's fine the way it is. All that butter and stuff just works great. And then you pop it in the oven for an hour and you're going to stir it every 15 minutes. And here's some advice. Definitely pull the sheets out of the oven before you stir, unless you really like to, you know, clean up burned cereal off the bottom of your oven. I tend to fill my trays really full, and then, yeah, it's just a mess to stir them. So I always pull them out and set them up on top, and that just seems to work best. Okay, so while the snack mix is in the oven toasting up and getting all like nice and browned and caramelized, I'm going to start on some cookie dough. Yes, I said cookie dough. I'm not actually going to bake well, I may bake a few just so you can taste test them together, but I'm actually going to be making a whole bunch of cookie dough and putting it in the freezer. I love when I have a chance to do this and make it ahead of time because there's nothing like warm, gooey cookies, but you don't always have time for that, right? So you can make that experience happen way more often when you have cookie dough in your freezer. And so I'm gonna be making monster cookies today. And I have shared this recipe before. I'm gonna be adding M&Ms and semi-sweet chocolate chips, which is how my family likes it, but you can easily substitute for whatever you guys like as you're mixing. And these are also my husband's absolute favorite cookies. And I have a fun little twist that I will share with you as we make these that might put a little bit of school spirit into your life. So let me get out my KitchenAid mixer and we will get going on the cookie dough. So I would love to hear from all of you. What is some of your favorite lunchbox or lunchtime memories as a kid? I went to a private Mennonite school, and not all the kids were Mennonite, but it was Mennonite run, and how we would be allowed to sit at each other's desks for lunchtime. And it was always like this jostling thing of who are you gonna sit with at lunch today? And then on Wednesdays, sometimes we would have hot lunch in the gym because we did not do a cafeteria or anything. And then that's when the moms would pool their resources and make like really good hot lunches, and then we just sat at really long tables and ate up that food. But yeah, just some memories that I have of lunches at school. And switching gears back to real time here, I am just tidying up my kitchen. I like to do this as I go because yeah, it just gets out of control, especially if you're making more than one recipe in a day or something. It's just nice to kind of tidy up as you have some wait time. Here, the butter and the sugar and stuff was creaming together, so I had a little bit of downtime to, you know, look around and see what I could work on. And I was also setting my timer for every 15 minutes to keep stirring the snack mix. I didn't want to forget that. Okay, so this dough is pretty much ready, except I need to add some M&Ms yet. And just for fun, I went to Weaver Nut, which is like a candy store near me, and there's like a whole wall of all different colored M&Ms. They're an off-brand variety. But anyway, my sister is entering high school this year, and so I chose the navy, the blue, the gray, and the white to go with her school. So that's a fun way you can add some school spirit into your kiddos' lunch boxes. If your school has specific colors, you know, how fun. And like zero effort. Okay, here is the cookie dough, and I make massive cookie dough balls when I make monster cookies because I do not like a dry monster cookie, and the best way to make them like nice and chewy is to make them big. So they are truly monster. And I'm just gonna freeze them right like this in the 9x13 pan and throw them in the freezer. But the oven looks like it's gonna be empty in about 5 minutes. The snack mix is almost done. So I just saved about 2 cups left of the dough. And I'm gonna make these now and we can have fresh cookies, and yeah, we can taste them together. And Josh just got home, so he should be happy. And then I'm just gonna wait for the snack mix to cool. This stuff is so good. It's buttery, salty. It has just the perfect flavor. It's subtle and not too in your face, but it still is there. Anyway, I'm going to wait till it cools down a little bit, and I'm gonna freeze a gallon bag of this stuff for later, like if we have guests or something, just to pull out last minute if we're going to the pool or anything like that. And then the rest I'm gonna put in individual little snack bags in the cupboard, and we'll work on that I think tomorrow, because I soon have to start cooking supper here for my family. We're just gonna do like corn on the cob for supper, but I do want to make like a little grab and go snack area, and I will work on that tomorrow and show you guys that. And yeah, my kids are going to be delighted when they wake up and see that I made snack mix, because this is my mom's recipe and they just love their grandma's snack mix. So I should be their favorite person for at least a little bit. Okay, are you waking up? Look, I made you a snack mix.
Oh,
Come.
it's hot.
It's just a little bit warm. This is so good.
I want to see it.
Look what I made you.
I want my food out here.
And I made cookies too. Hey, you can go out on the porch. I'm gonna test these cookies. Should I bring a cookie out to you later then? Okay, so here is my gallon bag. I'm gonna throw that in the freezer, and you'll see these later on in this video, but I just portioned them out into little snack bags. That's kind of the amount that my little children eat, and Josh can just grab one of these and throw them in his lunchbox as well if he would like to, or if that's not enough, he can grab two. But yeah, I think these will work out perfect. I'm not used to them being oriented this way. Usually when I buy snack bags, they're like that, but this will work great, I believe. And you could even pop, like I could have divvied everything up into these little portion cup size bags and froze them in the freezer. So you guys can do that if you want to, and it will keep a long time, and you can just pull them out and they're already ready, you know, to go. Or you could just buy your own snack mix too, but that's no fun. Okay, this kitchen could really use a tidy up, but let's taste these cookies before I work on that. I put them on the cooling rack and let them set up a little bit more, and they're still pretty crumbly, but this is because it was like the last pieces at the bottom. Let's see if they're any good. You want to taste a monster cookie?
Yes. Give me a piece without any M&Ms.
Oh, have the whole thing.
There we go. That's more like it.
You're dropping all the M&Ms. They were your request. So it's another day, another dress, and I am just getting ready to make some cheese crisps. Oh, that was high. Cheese crisps, I guess you call them. I've been wanting to do these for a long time, ever since I started making empanadas. You guys remember the empanada recipe I shared with you in my last cooking video? Well, like some of the cheese would ooze out of it, and the kids were like picking the cheese off, and I just always assumed they wouldn't like it because it's brown, but we all love that like melted crispy cheese, so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make some of that for a snack. But I think I'm just gonna use plain cheddar cheese, and then I have some Parmesan cheese that was sitting in the fridge from a salad recipe, I think it was. So I might sprinkle a little bit of that on top just to make it a little more like tang to it. But yeah, I'm excited to see how these turn out. And I know a lot of people eat these when they're like on keto, they don't want all the carbs and stuff, so this is a great option if you're trying to watch your carb intake, but that's not why I'm making these, like I said. I think that's all I'm going to do because I have a little bit more cheese in the fridge I want to use up. So I'm just gonna wrap this up, put it back in the fridge. Oh, by the way, I have these wax wraps on my website. If you guys have not been looking around on Fox Sparrow lately, I add new ones pretty often. A lady in Oklahoma, a Mennonite lady, makes them for us, and we list them whenever we get new ones. I think there's a new batch ready to go live, so go check those out. Yeah, check it out. It pretty much just doubles as like plastic wrap, and you don't have to like throw away all the stuff. This one is a black and white one with like a kitchen motif, and they're covered in beeswax. And yeah, I have all different colors on my website, and you just use the heat from your hands to kind of meld it together, and you can pop it in the fridge. I love to use this for, yeah, all kinds of stuff, so check those out. Oh, my oven is ready. Check those out if you haven't lately. I really think they are a fun product, and I don't know, a great gift idea as well. Anyway, I'm going to put these on a sheet, and it says you don't have to smooth them out, that they'll just like puddle down. So I'm just gonna go like that, I guess. This is truly an experiment. A lot of times I like to do recipes with you guys that I've made for years, but sometimes you just gotta try new stuff, right? Always shred your own cheese, guys. It's the best. And then I'm just gonna go back in with some Parmesan. Hope these aren't too big. Yeah, let me know what seasonings are good on these if you've made them before. Okay, into the oven they go for about 7 minutes, I believe. Oh dear, I just realized I forgot the parchment paper, so you'll see how those turn out. Yeah, you want to put parchment paper down first. I'll let you know how they turn out. These are air-baked cookie sheets, so they usually don't let my cookies stick at all. We'll see how it works out. And so then while I was waiting for the cheese to melt, I worked on our little fruit tray that I've been keeping in the center of our table. You might have seen it in my homemaking video I recently posted. And not only does this look so pretty and summery, but it keeps the fruit out in front of us. I feel like it reminds me to eat healthier. I don't know, that's just a weird thought, but it works for me. And it also helps our fruit to ripen up instead of sitting it on the windowsill. I just set it on the table here and it can ripen up, and then when they're ripe, I just pop them in the fridge and we eat them as we need them, you know? Oh my goodness, they just look like puddles of cheese. Are you all nervous with me? And I wanted to give you an update on my new knife block and my wooden cutting boards. I have been a good girl. I have been remembering to hand wash them, and I feel like that's doing wonders. I wash my knives by hand. I don't put my cutting boards in the dishwasher to warp or anything. I've been really conscientious about it, and it actually doesn't take that much time. So I highly encourage that if you are going to start on like a new knife set or new cutting boards, it's a perfect time to develop a new habit because you are motivated to keep your nice things nice. It's hard to really care about things when they're old and already, you know, used up, dull, warped, whatever. So I hopefully am developing a habit that I'll stick around with me for life. We'll see. Also, these glass straws are I love them. I love how you can see if they're dirty. You know what I mean? I sometimes get the heebie-jeebies with my wooden, like, bamboo ones. Like, what's inside there? You never know for sure. I mean, you can use a little brush, but how do you know you're getting everything? Okay, so here are the ones without the parchment paper. I pulled them out because they were getting, like, brown around the edges. And I don't know if you can hear that, but they're kind of sizzling yet. And I'm gonna leave them set a little bit. Look, definitely use parchment paper. I think these will peel off fine because it's a air-baked cookie sheet. But look, the grease, it literally almost got to the edge and almost started dripping in the bottom. So that would have been a mess. So definitely do not skip the parchment paper, if only for that reason. Okay, we are going to try one. Here's what they look like. Personally, like, that's perfectly nice and round. They did get nice and round, but I feel like they are really big. I would make them smaller and cuter, I think, next time. But let's have a taste. Oh, here, texture-wise. The brown part's pretty crispy. This part's a little floppy. I think I could have left them in a little bit longer. Okay. They're really good. I think your kids would like them too. Don't skip the garlic powder or the Parmesan. I feel like that gives it more flavor. Otherwise, it just tastes like you're eating crispy cheese, which essentially is what it is. Guys, these are really good. I would love to try this with the different types of cheese. There you can see the texture. Wow. That looks amazing. Okay, so go ahead and make these and give them to your kids and let me know if they make a good lunch snack or not. I would love to know. It says you can store them at room temperature for like 2 weeks, so apparently they last a while, so I can't imagine why it wouldn't work in a lunchbox. But I want to know. I can't wait to test these out with my kids, see if they're kid friendly. I mean, my kids love cheese, so I think I'll be making these more. Okay, final verdict on the cheese crisps. I actually popped them back in the oven again to get them a little more brown, and they are way better when they're like crispy. So get them good and brown. And I also sprinkled on, I sprinkled on some of this barbecue rub. It's called Dizzy Dust. It's just the stuff that Josh uses for anything, you know, on the grill that has to do with pork. So good. Look at that. Very, very good. But they're good plain too, so use whatever you have. And yeah, experiment. Let me know if there's anything that you discover that's extra amazing. I heard somebody was putting jalapenos on them, which wouldn't be super kid friendly probably, but that sounds good too. Something else I like to implement when I have the time is our little own personal vending machines, I call them. Yes, there's no automated buttons or anything involved, but basically I just like to keep a grab and go basket in my pantry that I can grab, or I can send Evonnie to the pantry and tell her what to grab. And it's just super easy, pre-portioned items that I can throw in the diaper bag or just take with us on the go or when we're really busy. And the things that I put in here vary greatly, but we always have some kind of granola bars, whether those are bought or homemade. I have a subscribe and save membership on Amazon for one item and one item only right now, and that is these Go-Go apple pouches. My kids are kind of getting out of this stage of these where they would need them, but it's still a nice, like, non-crunchy snack to grab. So I keep getting them and we keep going through them. And there's something so fulfilling about seeing some homemade snacks in there that I had my own hand in creating, like the snack mix and the cheese crisps. And I can tell you now, it's been 2 days and my kids, they've both been a hit. They've loved them. And I kind of have to ration them out a little bit, actually. And not only do I like to keep a little grab and go section in my pantry, I also do that in my fridge as well when I get around to it. So here I'm just washing and cutting up some grapes. Yes, I will always be that mom who cuts up grapes. I feel like I will just be doing this till the end of time. My daughter, she likes to just eat them right off the vine, and I trust her. It's been a while. I mean, can you really ever trust a kid? Like, couldn't any of us choke on a grape? I don't know. Choking just paranoids me. But I still cut my son, who is 2, I cut his grapes up because he is known to just like get excited and just start shoveling things in. And I just can't quite trust him. It gives me a little bit more of a peace of mind. And like I said, this little vending machine container is going into the fridge. So this one has some monster cookies, some grapes, some little clementines. They were not as good this last time, so I think we're pretty much getting out of that yummy clementine season. I know winter is the best time to buy those, but I thought they'd be a great beach snack, so we're going to eat them up. And then some little Baby Bell cheeses, which I try to keep my daughter away from them because they're my cheese. She can eat the string cheese, right? But she loves Baby Bells. She's definitely onto them. Josh doesn't see why we think they're so amazing, but that's okay, Josh. More for us. Okay, I know breakfast can be so hectic in the mornings, especially when you have kids to get off to school or yourself to get off to school or work. I feel like make-ahead breakfasts can apply to any person, any stage of life. And so this is one of my favorite recipes I've shared before. I will link it below with all the rest. And basically it's just my German pancake recipe that I always use, but I'm trying them in individual muffin tins just to see how we like them. They look so cute when I saw this idea online, and I was like, I'm gonna try it out. So you just mix everything up in the blender, and then you put little pats of butter into each of the muffin cups and put them in the oven to get sizzly. And when they're sizzling, then you add the batter and pop them back in the oven, and then they will rise and get crazy. You'll see at the end here, it's always fun to see what a German pancake will do in the oven, or in this case, a bunch of little mini ones. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I'm gonna use this method again. Maybe if I would have used cupcake liners, I just didn't enjoy cleaning it out afterwards. The butter was supposed to act like the spray. You shouldn't have needed more spray or anything, but the eggs did kind of stick just a little bit. And I just felt like it was not quite worth the hassle. I'd rather just keep a 9x13 pan of German pancakes right there in my fridge and then just cut a wedge every time we want some, rather than having all these little individual, muffins. I mean, it was fun for the kids and stuff, but it was a little bit time consuming. I'm glad I tried it, and I think you guys should too. But if nothing else, if you don't feel like you have time for that, just click on that recipe and make it in a 9x13 pan. You will realize how amazing it is. It's actually pretty healthy because it has mostly eggs. There's not a lot of flour and sugar and stuff, but the sugar comes in when you're making this homemade syrup that goes with the recipe. And this syrup is amazing. It's like a caramely buttermilk syrup. And you don't want to walk away from this syrup because you are stirring it every, a couple seconds for 7 minutes straight. So I use this time to kind of straighten up the Lazy Susan and some things like that. And I'm so sorry about my messy looking oven top. I thought, oh, it's just like sugar granules. You can't see it on camera because half the time you cannot see dirt on camera, guys. It's really a blessing, but you can see the sugar. And I really wish I would have cleaned it up because it's driving me nuts here editing it. And I'm sure it is driving you nuts as well, but don't worry, later on I do wipe it up. And once it's a nice brown caramely color, it takes 7 minutes, you pull it off and you add your vanilla and then you're good to go. I like to store this in the fridge in a pourable dish. That way we can, add it to our German pancakes or the next day waffles or pancakes or whatever. Make them, guys. I can't sing this recipe's praises high enough. It is so good. And yes, this clip here is purely for YouTube. I would not ever put this much syrup of this kind on my pancakes. It is so sweet, you don't need near this much. So I did it for the vlog, guys. Now my kids are down for their nap for the day and I have not eaten yet. I've been working all morning on my computer. My sister came over and helped clean and watch the kids and I'm so hungry. And I thought I would share this recipe with you guys because it is a great make ahead meal prepping idea. I'm the one in my family that loves chicken salad. The kids will eat it some. We had a chicken barbecue this like 2 weekends ago, I think it was. And Josh grilled a 40-pound case of bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. And so I put a whole bunch of the leftovers in the freezer and I just pulled some out now. So I'm gonna be making a chicken salad with grilled chicken. It's gonna be so delicious. I already picked it off the bone for the most part. Of course, I know the trick of putting it in the stand mixer and beating it up, but I'm not gonna get it out just for this little bit here. I'm only making 4 chicken thighs worth of chicken salad, and I do apologize if you guys want the exact recipe. I can tell you what I put in mine, but I can't give you exact quantities because I kind of just base it off of the chicken that I have, how much I have, and then if I want to make any adaptations to it or anything. But I will show you how I prepare it and then how I like to eat it. Chicken salad is one of those things you can eat so many different ways. Also, I am drinking an iced latte straight out of my blend jet. Works great. I made half of it. Actually, I made the whole thing yesterday and I drank half and now I'm drinking the other half. Trying to control myself. Okay, so like I said, I do not measure, but here I have mayo and then I have mustard. This is minced onion and this is fresh parsley I just pulled out of my little herb garden. Salt, pepper, some really finely diced up celery. I don't like big chunks of it. And a little bit of brown sugar. So that usually makes it really good. I'll mix it together here and see if it needs anything else and we'll go from there. Okay, so here is my lunch. Basically what I did was I toasted a piece of rosemary herb bread, which I've been into lately. I even showed how I made some in my Dutch oven in a past video, so check that out if you're curious. And then while I was toasting it, I had like shredded cheese on top, so that just kind of like melted on. That's cheddar there. And then I have a bed of spinach, a thin tomato slice. I have the chicken salad, which by the way is probably the best chicken salad I've ever made. I'm gonna blame it on the grilling, like the flavor of the grill and stuff is so good. I added a little more mayo, it was a little dry. And then I just sprinkled everything with parsley and squeezed a little lemon juice and everything. And now I'm gonna eat my lunch. I am excited. And this way you don't need like all that bread if you make like a sandwich. Obviously that's the best way to do it if you're packing it in a lunch or something, but this way I just have one slice of bread and then all the toppings. It's so good. It's such a perfect summer meal. into fall for school. There's nothing like chicken salad on a crusty bread. That's just such a good combination. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know there was a lot of different things in there, but I hope whatever August means to you, if it means back to school season or not, I hope that you're finding ways to make your housework and your meal prep and stuff just nice and streamlined so you have time for the things that you actually want to do. And yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Tag me on Instagram if you make any of these recipes. I'd love to know, and like always, everything will be linked down below, or I'll have a link to my website where I have the recipe. So go ahead and check that out. Also, don't forget to check out Fox Sparrow, all the products that are on there yet. We're gonna be restocking here in October, I think, with a whole bunch of new things. So look out for that, and follow me over on Instagram at Fox Sparrow. That's where I update everybody first about new leather items and things like that, all the new products that come up there on my website. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody. Yeah, skip the walnuts, skip the grapes. This is how you make chicken salad.